power trio, just three of us. Our fourth member hopefully will be joining us pretty soon. But Nate's here. How you doing, Nate?
Good. Thanks for having me again, man.
Good to see you again. Pat's here.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
I can see Brian, kind of. But hopefully, he'll be joining us soon. We hope. Technical trouble, technical problems. But what are you going to do? You know, what are you going to do?
Keep on keeping on. We'll see. Hopefully, we can get through.
You can do it, Bri.
Yeah.
You can do it.
I
believe in you.
I can see his face. You can see his. I can see his little face.
Audio.
Hey!
Hey, Brian.
Awesome.
We got you
Can
now.
you not hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Oh, all right.
Sweet.
Good enough. I give up.
Amazing. We're here. The gang's all here. Brian's here.
I had to borrow my girlfriend's phone because I couldn't get my phone or my tablet to work. Any browser. Christ. All right, we're here.
Aren't you an IT guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the phone just didn't work. It wasn't working.
Lovely to see you, mate. How you doing?
All right, man. I'm hanging in there. Gonna pour myself a little bullet ride.
After all you've been through.
Well earned.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers to everyone watching. Thanks for tuning in. A couple of minutes late.
Yeah, well.
But it's gonna be worth the wait.
Nice to meet you, Pat.
Good to meet you, Brian. Thank you for. I didn't realize that was you dropping a few comments there, dropping knowledge. I thank you for
knowledge on your channel there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I watched a couple episodes. I figured I'd give you a little info in there.
Appreciate that. I did pick up that Discard demo on a compilation with some other stuff. So
yeah,
trying to keep up.
That stuff is killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So this is a special end of year edition. Actually, Brian's idea. It's a good idea. So it's the usual format. We've got 5 records each, right? We'll go around one at a time.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Something like that, yeah. So best 5 reissues count, right, Brian?
I wasn't doing reissues, but if somebody else does, I can't stop them at this point, can I?
No. It's true. So I can't wait to see what everyone's got. I've got 5.
I figure everybody's gonna. There's like a couple that we're all gonna,
Probably,
for sure.
Probably, yeah.
So I do have a couple to the side where I can go to that instead or something.
Right. So before we do it though, what do you reckon this year, fellas, for music? Good, bad, as good as 1972?
I don't think it was as good as 72.
It's a good year.
There was some good stuff. Yeah, and a lot of stuff I didn't know, like on the secret board there was a bunch of stuff I didn't know. It was bands I've heard the name of, but because 7 inches are $9 now, I hadn't checked out, like that kind of shit.
Yeah. All right, so let's do the clockwise system, right? So I'm going to go first. Me, Pat, Brian, Nate, and then we'll go around. We'll do one
9
at a time,
to midnight first. That's right. That's how it always works.
Yes. Simple. Keep it simple. Okay, so here we go. So there's been a few records that a lot of people have showed in the last few episodes, so I decided not to show them. I'm not going to say what they are in case you guys have picked them. So what I did, I decided what records have I played the most this year, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to start off in Finland with a kind of crossover thrash metal band. They've got 3 albums out. This is their 3rd album. This is by far, I think I know who it is. Go ahead. It's by far their best record. Talking about Foreseen.
Yeah. Yeah, we played with them, and I never heard of them. Yeah.
Untamed.
They were incredible.
This I hold for them. This is my pick for the metal guys.
But like, okay, so this record is on Quality Control HQ, which is a London label, and they put out The Rival Mob and Vile Spirit and Arms Race, more like straightforward hardcore stuff. This is a crossover record, like thrash metal crossover. Man, I mean, I was listening to it thinking it kind of sounds like Finnish hardcore, like old Finnish hardcore, but crossover. There's definitely that Finnish hardcore influence in there. When I was checking it out, the guitar player is actually from this band. I think everyone loves this band, right?
Yeah. Milo is his name?
That's it. Yeah, I didn't know that. But the more I listened to this record, I was like, hang on a minute, there's a lot of Finnish hardcore going on in this record. And that's probably due to the guitar player, right? See, but yeah, it basically sounds like old Finnish hardcore guys mixed with like Power Trip or something like that.
I feel like I'm late to the game on them and just discovered them this year. People have been telling me to check them out, and for some reason I haven't. And they have three other? Yeah, they've got three other.
This is
LPs.
their third album. Yeah,
I feel like, oh my god, I just picked up the other ones. I haven't listened to them. Totally stoked.
This is definitely the best one, I think.
I agree. Something about the production on that feels like perfect for like 80s kind of stuff. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the production of like Whiplash and Crumbsucker, like something about, I don't know. I'm not good with that kind of shit, but just the way it sounds like it was recorded at the same place or something, like Normandy sound or whatever.
Bit of reverb on the vocals, like the old like,
Normandy sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I played this a whole ton. It's catchy too, you know, heavy, catchy. So that's my first pick. Foreseen. And...
I don't have any of their records, but we played with them in Finland in 2017. Oh, yeah? Never heard of them. I swear, 3 of the 5 guys in the band were wearing Age of Quarrel shirts, so my hopes weren't high because I hate the Cro-Mags. But they were incredible. They were just like hyper speed crossover thrash stuff. Incredibly great. I just, I was floored by them. They were incredible. And I don't know why I haven't picked up their records. I'm just, not
going to
just
get one,
buying absolute essentials the last few years. Yeah.
They seem to be the same part of the same wave as like Power Trip and Enforced and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I like all that stuff, but Foreseen always kind of reminded me of, like the New York crossover shit, but also like kind of like the German thrash metal bands to my ears a little. There's something about the way that dude like spits the lyrics. It's like a really fucking venomous. And they also don't write mosh parts just as like a pandering everybody mosh kind of thing. Like there's a little bit more thought, it seems like, with like their songwriting. So yeah, I fucking love that band. I saw them twice in Boston, once at the Middle East and once at once. And they played with like Boston Strangler, and I think they played with Power Trip as well, a bunch of bands like that. And all the bands that played that night were really good, but they blew everyone away. They were fucking incredible. So
yeah. You know who else played on the show? Oh, sorry. You know who else played on the show that we played with them with was Systematic Death.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Cool.
Crazy show.
Stacked.
Damn.
Yeah, I think when they came to Japan, I didn't see them, but they played with a bunch of Japanese hardcore bands when they came here. Yeah. Great. And like going back to the vocals, they have that old, I've said it already, but they have that old 80s like Finnish hardcore delivery going on with them too. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something a little bit Exodus bonded by blood that for me with the production, everything, it brings me back. A lot.
For sure.
And to me, it leans a little bit more metal to me in the crossover than it does the hardcore. But man, it's fucking a great record.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that's like, it's one of their songs, I think, but it says "Bonded by United Blood." So they're obviously hitting the nail on the head there, going for a very specific thing, But
yeah,
awesome,
great band. Okay, Patrick, that might have been your first pick, but you've got some standbys, right?
I really like this Unsanitary Napkin. All Billionaires are bastards. Came out on a whole bunch of labels. Limbless is one of them. Always Never. I think New Zealand band, if I'm not mistaken. I'm real picky about anarcho-punk stuff. I like a fair amount of it, but this is a newer band that it's like a modern spin on anarcho-punk. Like I haven't heard anything from that genre that's like this full sounding since Cress. Like it's very like well produced and everything. And the stuff they're talking about is also very modern, like Billionaires and Peter Thiel and Turfs and all that kind of stuff. And it's super fucking catchy. Really, really, really fucking pissed off. I spun it a lot this year. It was kind of hard to get a hold of for a minute. I don't think it is anymore, but as soon as I saw it at Sorry State, I snapped it up because I bought it on Bandcamp because I liked it so much. But yeah, super catchy, lots of fun, good anarcho-punk stuff.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, it's good. It's got that, you know, that sort of militaristic kind of drumming and everything, and that sort of chant response kind of approach, but like really tight and really full kind of heavy sound. So
yeah, Andy Leffer, he talked about that record last week and was recommending that one to everyone. So.
Yep. I still haven't heard it, but
me neither.
Two recommendations from cool dudes. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in Japan though. Hasn't turned up here yet. Yeah. All right, Brian, what you got for us, man?
All right, let's get this one out of the way.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
It's on all of our lists as well, I'm sure, you know. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to win them any new fans. It's really in line with their aesthetic, where their live show is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the recording quality is like pretty bad. It took me a while to warm up to it because it has some really odd, like vocal parts on it that kind of like the song just drops out and there's like a bunch of like grunting in Japanese. Well, I mean, I don't understand. I'm sure it's words, but it's like it's a strange thing. But like when you listen to it a few times, it kind of makes more sense. Kind of like gives them military affair neurotic there. I didn't like that for the longest time, and then like I listened to it all the way through, and it kind of made more sense. So yeah, this is one that to me at least didn't hit me over the head. I mean, I'm familiar with everything else they ever did, obviously. But I mean, you have to give it props. They just broke up, 41 years.
It's big news over here, you know, that band breaking.
Yeah, I think it's big news with any dudes like us. I mean, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you guys seen like the footage of the last
I
show
did,
that
yeah.
they played? You've seen it, Brian, right? They played as a three-piece.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And then Fugu, the singer, came out at the end. He
Shit.
came out at the end of the show and explained to everyone, you know, why the band was breaking up. And he apologized to everyone, and he talked about his illnesses and stuff, and this, that, and the other. And he was crying, and it was quite a thing to see. And it was, yeah.
Wow.
I'll never see another one like him.
No, I mean, everyone knows my history about being cheeky about that band, but even I was like, this is a kind of moment. And Ishia from Forward has written a huge thing online about the impact this is going to have on like the Japanese hardcore scene, and how they were really the glue that kept a lot of things together, and you know, this, that, and the other. And yeah, it's a big deal, I think, that they broke up.
I was talking to my friend Devin Cahill came over last night, and we were talking about that record, and he said to me, he said, I don't know if I really like it. It's kind of too slow. And I was like, and I was like, you must have just listened to the first 30 seconds of it, because the first 30 seconds, it's got that weird circus.
Almost has like an Eddie Cochran. Yeah,
it's so weird. And but then it rages, man. But yeah, I think it's a great record. It's no Equalizing Distort, but what is, you know?
Yeah.
Genkai wa Doko Da, that was my joint for sure. It is the ugliest sounding stuff they ever did to me.
With the live stuff,
thick and distorted, and yeah, I mean the whole thing, both sides are just ugly. So good.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
All right, Nate, what's your first choice, man?
I got this one. Rip to Shreds. Have you guys heard this at all or no?
Oh.
I know the band.
So good.
So I'm not. So this is our third release. It's on Relapse. They're from California. Just really, I mean, it's awesome death metal. I mean, if some people say I don't know, maybe that some of their older stuff is more doomy, but I don't see it at all. This stuff is just, it's bludgeoning. It's like harmonious, like in that Swedish way, you know, of like some of the riffing is just like so melodic and killer. The leads are like killer. It's, to me, it's just like an amazing record, man. It's a really awesome record. Ripped to Shreds. Yeah. And the name of the record is Jubian. It's in
Jubian,
Japanese.
that's it. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's a really good record. Relapse.
I saw one of the guys from that band on some YouTube show where he was talking about all their influences and stuff over the years, and they know their stuff.
They're a three-piece too. I don't know if I said that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty insane sounding. It's
nice.
Really good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Because I had burned on that whole HM2 guitar tone like a while ago because there were so many bands doing that.
Uh-oh.
And then I don't know, it came up in my recommendations and I listened to it and I was like, I'm back in, at least with this band. Like this is perfect.
The one thing I gotta say about like a lot of modern death metal, for me anyway, is fucking triggered drums. I hate that shit.
Same.
You know, and this doesn't have it. I mean, if it's been done, you can't tell at all, man. You know, it's just like it feels to me like pre-92 death metal. It's fucking great, man.
And I know that guy's involved in other projects, but I think he might be involved in Azeth. He's in a couple of other things that are also really, really good as well. But yeah, I had the pre-relapse. They had whatever label they were on before, but the last album was awesome too. Just as good.
Well, I'll get that too.
Cool. Hey, do you guys remember when like D-Beat wasn't called D-Beat?
Discord.
You know, like when was
D? When was 1995 or?
Yeah, you know, in the early 90s. What did we call it back then?
Hardcore. Everything was hardcore, right?
Yeah.
I remember MRR calling it Discord a lot, but
I
mean, occasionally anyway.
Yeah, I just said that because I didn't expect to have a D-Beat record in my top 5 records of the year, but here I am with a D-Beat record in my top 5. And not only a D-Beat record, but a French
warning. French D-Beat content.
A French D-Beat band. Man, this thing, Jesus. Bombardment.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know it.
Le Futur Est. I mean, I love it because it's like, it's got none of the, you know, look at them. It's like, doesn't really look like a D-Beat record.
Mm-hmm.
No. Cover is
it's not heavy. The guitars are really razor sharp, sometimes even a little bit jangly. It's like almost like Price of Silence era meets Hear Nothing, See Nothing, Say Nothing, with tons of guitar solos in it. And every song has something different going on. There's like a saxophone in one song. Really, really energetic. And as soon as it's finished, you want to play it again. I played this like 10 times in a row when I got it. And I mean, for someone like me that's a little bit burnt out on D-Beat, that's quite a feat, you know.
I really like that label. Symphony of Destruction, right?
Symphony of Destruction, yeah.
Yeah. I bought a grip of 7 inches from them this year, like that band Abiecta and a couple other ones that were like all really, really good. Like they put out really good stuff.
Yeah, and it's like it's not down tuned, it's not like stadium crust, and it's not really blown out noisy either. It's weird, and they've almost got like that. I said it like that almost a jangly guitar sound in places, but it really works. Okay,
not
like you know, like the
distorted or something
sound
like
that
that?
like the guitar sound Nightmare have had for like the past decade
Oh,
or
yeah.
so. They put that in there a little bit, but it works. And then they have these tons of guitar solos, you know, a couple of mid-paced ones, female vocalists as well. Brilliant.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
Highly
still get
recommend. Bombardment.
And you spin it 10 times in a row. That says a lot.
I seriously did. It's like it just flies off the turntable, right out the speakers. Perfect record.
Cool.
There you go.
Jim Martin is taking notes right now.
Yeah. He already has this record. I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go. Bombardment. And it's funny, the one they did before this, it's good, but man, this is like another level. Great stuff.
nice.
Check it out.
Bombardment. There you go. All right, Pat, what's your second?
Might as well get this one out of the way. The new long knife, curb stomp. I try to avoid social media at the end of the year to not be influenced by everybody else. It's like it's impossible to escape that everybody's talking about
I
it.
tried to do it.
A lot of people were into them before this. I don't want to say I was unimpressed by their previous album, but I was just cool. They really like Poison Idea. I really like Poison Idea too. Awesome. You know, I think I had a 7 or something by them, and I was like, yeah, this is really good. I saw them again. I saw them at the Middle East, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. But this is, I feel like a big step up. They're doing a lot more with songwriting. They still got kind of a Jerry A vocal approach, and some of the riffing is kind of like Poison Idea, but like there's a lot of other influences creeping in. The horns on it stuff. It's really like its own thing. I love the cover. I'm not a big B movie guy, but I think that's ripping off The Keep, that movie.
It's a great,
But,
it's a great cover.
Yeah, it's a really cool cover. Yeah, it's just awesome. I did spin this incessantly when I first got a hold of it as well. It's a great album.
It's from they're from Oregon, right? They are from Portland,
Portland, I think. Yep.
And they have a little bit of that sound to it too. It's not the Poison Idea, but say more the crusty.
I'd say, I mean,
Portland
their early records were just like Poison Idea worship. Like it sounded exactly like Poison Idea, which is cool. But with this one, they're involving a lot more influences, and they've been around forever. I know they were like involved in that band Riffs, like kind of more rock and roll, like Johnny Thunders kind of thing, I think. And I think it might have been a guy from that band Poxy, maybe, like that band. They were kind of like a Broken Bones kind of thing, like late 90s. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but they've been around forever. So yeah, I mean, it's like Poison Idea plus a little bit of extra other stuff that makes it pretty fresh in its own thing.
Some of the members were in that band Fetish as well, right? With the Slay Hippie from Poison Idea. They had that band Fetish.
I had that 7-inch.
Yeah, that was one of the bands at the beginning. I said a lot of people had that one on their end of year list. It's great record. Cool. Yeah. Brian from Dropdead's watching.
Oh, well, warning: French punk content.
Oh,
Lafraction, newest LP here.
I had no idea they had a new album.
Huh?
I had no idea they had a new album. I love that band.
Yeah. They really surprised me. We played with them in 1998 before I'd ever heard them in Rostock, Germany, and they were incredible. Like usually, you know, something that melodic. A lot of times, I'm a little more into the generic D-beat, thrash, tuneless thrash kind of thing, noisecore or whatever. But they just knocked me on my ass when we played with them, and we've been friends with them ever since. I bought all the records as they've come out and seen them a few times. We toured with them. No, we didn't really tour. We played a couple shows with them. Like that we requested. We were like, can you get these guys on the show? We toured with Rui Dosa in Mendicia one time. We got them on the Pariiah show. So that was a killer show. Yeah, I mean, this is another thing. The vocals were a little more raspy. I don't know.
Okay.
If, you know, just getting older, changing it up a little bit. I mean, Dio didn't sound exactly like he did in 75. towards the end there either, but it's still great. Still great, a little different style. I don't think it'll win him any new friends. It's kind of, the same thing. But I mean, how many Motorhead records kind of treaded the same path, or Ramones or whatever? I prefer good to innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's on my top records list, but I didn't have a lot of money to buy a lot of new records either. So I don't know if it would have got bumped if I bought 40 more LPs this year or whatever. But I'm so glad they're still together, because it's been a few years since they did a record.
Yeah,
much appreciated.
I love that band. I love them, but I just was not able to find a new one yet over here. But great band.
Yeah. Luckily, Ben from Armageddon got some. I don't know if he still has them, but for people in the States at least, they can get them.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah, so we're talking like melodic hardcore, but with the singer is amazing, I have to say.
The singer is incredible. She really makes the band. She's like the fourth instrument in the band.
Yeah.
Because I can't understand what she's saying, but the way she weaves in her melodies through the whole thing. I don't want to say it's like jazz or anything, but it's like that way where there's an extra instrument just soloing over the whole thing. That's what her vocals are like to me.
I saw them 3 times in Ireland, because I was over there hanging out, and I knew the people on their tour. So I saw them. They traveled with their own sound guy that did PA and everything to make sure they sounded good, and they were fucking amazing every single time.
Yeah.
There's a few bands, there's that band Negra Rata from Spain that are also similar style.
Seen the name, I didn't know that.
And Accidente, who are also Spanish, same kind of thing. Great vocalists, melodic punk, really good. All right, Nate, what's your third pick? Second pick? Oh, nice.
So this is Ready for Death. It's their debut, and it's on Translation Lost. Artie White on vocals, and then a bunch of guys he lives in Chicago now, and a bunch of guys in Chicago that are playing, and dudes it's like the guitar player from Ass Chapel.
Oh, that's right.
Pelican, and I know I'm forgetting something else, but yeah, it's awesome, man. It's honestly, when Artie told me he was doing a metal band, I was like a little bit, I didn't know if he could pull it off. But his vocals are awesome on this. He totally nailed it. My recommendation, if you get this record, side 2 first, because I played side 2 by accident, and I couldn't even get off that side. There's the first song has this lick in it that's just unbelievable. The guitar playing is unbelievable. The drums are like Bolt Thrower. It's sick, man. It's a good record. And this was recorded in their practice space. So it's just, the mastering is really killer on it.
It does sound like one of those old school demo tapes that you would get in the mail.
Yeah, and it doesn't. To me, it doesn't have. There's very little hardcore vibe to it at all. It's a bunch of a little bit of everything as far as metal goes. I like it a lot. It's great. Like I said, it was one of those records where I put on side B by accident, and I couldn't get off that side for an entire day. It was 10 spins before I even went over to side A. And then I went to side A, and I got to say, I was a wee bit I was like, boy, they screwed up the sequencing on this. They should have had me sequence this record.
That happens, right? That's a great record. I managed to get a copy of that. It's on the shelf here somewhere. But
It's cool. That
I've only had it a few days, so I haven't had much time with it yet. But it's really, really good. Yeah.
I don't know it, but yeah, again, Artie Philly doing metal. That's unexpected.
The vocals
cool.
are great.
Yeah,
really like raspy and like vitriolic, angry vocals. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like Artie at all. It's great. Sorry, Artie.
On the upside, it doesn't sound like Artie.
It doesn't sound like the Shemps.
Right.
All right. Okay, I'm going to go with a Japanese band, and I did not expect this to happen because I've never really been a big fan of this band. I was tape trading with some of the members like back in the 80s. They put out their 13th album this year. They started off as like just a pretty run-of-the-mill like black metal band, but then they started to do all this experimentation, avant-garde stuff, blah, 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 blah. But this record, I think, is like the perfect mix of just like straightforward metal and all the experimentation. Talking about Sigh. And their new record, Shiki, which is their 13th album. There's a lot of like Celtic frost going on this record, like mixed with a lot of traditional Japanese instruments. Like Mirai plays like the shamisen and the shakuhachi, the flute, and all that kind of stuff. And
that's cool.
The drummer of Creator, I think it's the drummer of Creator plays on this. The current drummer of Creator is the drummer on this record. I don't know how that happened. And some guy from Fear Factory plays on this record too. Wow. But it's like very experimental, but it's also really immediate and really catchy. So like I said, it's a lot of like Celtic frost style riffing on it.
What label?
Does anybody remember that band High Technology Suicide? Brian, right? You remember that band, right? Like on this record, Mirai's vocals sound like almost exactly like that style. So it's kind of really interesting mix of like Celtic frost, traditional Japanese instruments, and then these like crazy like vocals that sound like High Technology Suicide.
That's a
great
cool
record. Another one that I just played over and over and over and over and over again when I got it.
We're all like scratching our chins. We like,
I mean, talking about.
Sigh's one of those bands that's been around forever, but I haven't really checked them out because I don't do a lot of metal stuff except for 80s, 70s, 80s stuff.
They're a difficult
I just don't know them. I just know that they've been around forever.
Yeah. I mean, they just do what they want. I mean, it's really Mirai. It's his band, really. He just does whatever he wants. He'll put jazz in there. And they have a full-time saxophone player now. But
they're wild as fuck.
The third LP with horns on it so far.
Hey,
no, you're taking the jazz thing to another level.
And it does have a song called Shikabane on it. No?
Yeah, there's a band called Shikabane. What does that mean? I don't remember.
Corpse.
Oh.
That's why, he
is like dead.
I used to have a Shikabane t-shirt. I was like, why am I getting all these terrible looks when I'm walking around the town? Yeah. But honestly, great record. Love it. Played it to death. It's on Peaceful Records, by the way.
Oh, that's what I was asking what label it was on.
Yeah, Peaceful.
Yeah.
Does not look like a peaceful release.
Yeah. Great artwork. Like traditional Japanese painting. Yeah, there you go. That's my third choice. Sigh.
That band's cool because they've been weird for a long time.
I mean, some of their records are not very good, I have to say. And weird production choices on some of their records, but this one is huge. It's like huge production, but it really works.
Yeah. I was going to say, I had one of their earlier records, Hail Horror Hail, that came out sometime in the 90s, and that was fucking wild as hell too. So like one of those bands like I occasionally check in with, and I'm like, yep, still a lot going on. Like, holy shit.
There's a lot. There is a lot going on, but don't be put off. It's really easy to get into this record.
Oh yeah, and I think I got like a reissue of their very first when they were more like straightforward black metal, and that record's really good too.
Well, they got signed by what's his name from Mayhem, didn't they, back in the day?
Euronymous. Yeah. I think it was one of his many contacts. Yeah.
But like one of the guys from Beyond Description used to play in Sigh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he used to send me like all the Sigh demos and stuff. He's like, well, I'm playing in two bands at the moment, like this kind of black metal band and this hardcore band. The hardcore band was Beyond Description. So there you go.
I can almost kind of see that because Beyond Description is like wild as hell too, just in a totally different way.
There's a band nobody talks about anymore.
I know.
think they might be still going as well.
They could be. I mean, they are Japanese after all, but yeah, they were one of the easier bands to get records by for like a while there from, the Japanese side of things.
And he was a good tape trader, and he would write letters, and actually he would answer letters too if you wrote to him, like back in the day, in the 80s.
Yeah, I don't think I ever wrote to him, but yeah, it was hard to find people to trade with. So if you put the effort in, you were from Japan, I'm sure it was real easy to build up a trading base to get stuff you wanted.
Yeah. All right, Pat.
All right, another French punk alert.
Oh, wow. Yeah. There you go.
Syndrome 81, Personnes Imaginaires. Sorry for my horrible pronunciation, but yeah, French Oi, I hit or miss with me. I like all the big names, I guess, of Warrior Kids and Snicks and all that stuff. It's known for its melodic leanings, and I'm sure there's other examples of like combinations of like melodic Oi and like post-punk, I guess. I don't know of many because I'm kind of a pleb when it comes to that kind of stuff, but this record's so good. It's so catchy. All those like kind of shimmering sort of like post-punky guitar things going on with it. Super catchy. I find myself singing along, just kind of like making up words to the choruses and stuff. I was driving around when we went to Sorry State the other day. My wife and I were driving around listening to this. I spin it all the time at work because I can get away with it because it's catchy, it's probably just as far as like pound for pound, the amount of spins this year, it's probably number one for me, but awesome record for sure.
Yeah, that's another one along with the Long Knife that I was going to say at the beginning. Like a lot of people have.
Oh yeah,
have that on their list. Yeah, it's a great record.
I don't know that one, but I was listening to them on the old YouTube full album streams that you can get, and it's a good band. I didn't even note it as Oi, really. I thought more of a like post-punk, melodic punk, not pop punk, but melodic punk. Yeah. I guess the bridge between Oi there is pretty thin anyways. I mean, it was kind of a made-up label in the first place, wasn't it? I mean.
Yeah, true.
Their first album is a little bit more Oi.
Huh.
That one is definitely Blitz Second Empire, right? It's basically
a little bit more upbeat, but yeah, pretty much
Gothic Oi.
Positive punk Oi split.
All right, Brian. Wow, 3 French records already.
I know. What is going on?
Funk it.
Yeah.
I have one of the best records ever, but it's not this. It is not the Dread Yankee Slave.
And it's not from this year either.
And it's not from this decade either. But these guys are from Siberia. Crispy Newspaper. Can you see this?
Newspaper.
Yeah, I think these are kind of digital only. There's like 2 of them. One's more of an 12-inch EP. One's like an LP. Like back to I picked this just now, going out of order here, because it is kind of more of that. It's like kind of post-punk, ADK, punk kind of stuff, and a
Wow.
little like Pace Rogers kind of punk kind of stuff. Like, but yeah, I think these were like digital only or cassette things that were only available in, Russia, Siberia. That some label pressed like in 2022 as a couple LPs, 12 inches LPs, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Stalin when they went a little more post-punk.
Wow.
Like some of those songs where they're kind of like slower and he's just kind of gothically droning over stuff. And I actually watched a live video of them, and sometimes I forget that Russia is huge, and on that Siberian side, they're like it is Asian. They're right on top of it, and all the guys in it look stereotypical Asian or whatever, which kind of surprised me. It's an interesting big world we live in with many things going on. But yeah, I've had an interest in Russian, any outside the US, Europe kind of punk for a long time. So I saw that. I was like, I have to immediately order this after hearing a couple MP3s on their Bandcamp or streams, whatever you want to call them.
Did you order
really interesting stuff. It's, their songs, not kind of, a lot of the stuff. Like I was listening to Gero Gary Gay 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 today, like one of their 75 song where it's just a 4 count and then a bunch of noise. And it's supposed to be a cover of Light My Fire or Boys Don't Cry, but it's really a bunch of noise. But this stuff is, catchy songs, and it mixes up through like the length of like an album, from like just kind of fast, raw, hardcore kind of stuff to, like I said, like post-punk stuff, kind of ADK weird punk kind of stuff.
Wow.
It's really good. It's really good. So Crispy Newspaper. Get out there and find it somewhere. I don't know where you can find it. I ordered it online from Bandcamp, of all places.
This is one I've not heard of. I've not heard anybody talk about it. I'm very, very intrigued by this one.
So did it ship from Siberia?
No, it's some American label. Hang on one second. I don't even remember the name of the label. Fright. Jeez, I can't even see on this one. It just has a thing on the back.
The one cover was really good. That cover is really cool.
Yeah.
I can't even tell. Yeah.
Crispy
That cover kind of looks like some old propaganda kind of stuff.
Totally. Cool. I'll check that out.
Nice. That's gone on my Jim Martin list for sure.
The Jim Martin list. Let's hope Jim Martin is out there listening.
Oh, before we get to Nate, I have to say that Penny Marie says, Brian, can you reveal the full screen and show the cave you are transmitting from that has 55,000 cassettes?
It's not 55,000. And there's a wall behind this that has another IKEA Expedite full to like the ceiling. That's the metal wall. But, and all the cassettes, I got rid of a lot of my cassettes. I gave a bunch to Tom from General Speech, and I kept like all the real demos, but like all like the comp tapes we used to make each other, where it'd be like it was all stuff I had on vinyl already, or I didn't figure I needed to listen to again. Like how many times are you gonna listen to like some random lip cream show? I mean, maybe to some people, but me, I was like, I'm not gonna listen to this again.
Oh, Tom will. For sure.
Tom might at some point, but yeah.
Cool, dude.
Got the Crispy Newspaper added to my want list right here.
That's clever. You don't even have a pen or paper?
Just looked it up on Bandcamp.
21st century.
Yeah. There you go.
Right. My next one, New Jersey.
Oh.
Gotta say, this record reminds me a lot of. There's a lot of Dropdead in this record.
Really?
Yeah. Cost of an Animal. I've heard it at least 4 times on this record. It's awesome. These guys are from Jersey. They're from Jersey. It's on Wall Ride Records, 45 RPM. It's like you put this on and it's pretty much over like really quick, even though there's, a shit ton of songs. But yeah, man, this is really awesome. This is a record that, again, it didn't, at least side A didn't leave my turntable. And again, from New Jersey, so I got to give him some love. I'm in New Jersey, so
I've seen
and
that.
I love the simplicity of the artwork and everything else. The recording, it's mastered, I think, like everything else that our boy Will Killingsworth and
I was going to say either him or Jack, right?
Yeah,
Jack
I was going to say Jack. Yeah.
Or Brad.
Brad
too. Yep.
So yeah,
Will
did a great job on this. And again, like I said, there's a lot of drop dead in this. It's super noisy. It's chaotic. It's awesome.
I've seen that popping up on a few people's lists too. Yeah. All right, I'm kind of going in a little bit deep now. I thought my first 3 picks would be kind of like crowd pleasers, but I'm not sure about my next 2. But I'm staying true. I'm staying down. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm going back to Finland, and there's a connection with the first band I saw, Foreseen. There's the drummer from Foreseen plays in this band. They're not a hardcore band. They're not a metal band. I don't even know what they are. That's a problem with choosing this record because I'm going to have trouble describing it. Talking about Kaleidobolt. This is their 4th LP. This One Simple Trick. It's on Svart Records. It's all over the place. But like, okay. King Crimson meets No Means No. Something like that.
Wow.
There's some like really ferocious parts. Huge bass sounds like No Means No had. Or the Stranglers. Like huge bass sound. And when you listen to this, you realize what an amazing drummer Martin is from Foreseen. The drumming is incredible as well. But
he was really good.
Like, there's a bit of prog on this too, and some like 70s rock and some 60s psych. It's all over the place, but it's very cohesive at the same time. But it's another one that I just played over and over and over again. It's not punk, not hardcore. There's a lot. It's like the vocal melodies. They're either like 60s psych or like kind of King Crimson-y 70s King Crimson style vocal melodies. It gets really, really frantic in places. There's some like long drawn out jams with some crazy guitar playing. Great record. There's even like some Stooges riffing in here. No saxophone. But that Martin guy plays in the other band that everyone loves. I cannot pronounce the name. The Finnish band.
Yeah, I know.
Seat. It's that band that had 2 EPs out and they've just been reissued on one. It's like YLEISETSYYT. Like everyone loves that band, but it's the same drummer as Foreseen in this band.
Incestual scene over there, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, they have a bunch of projects and they're all pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen anyone really talking about this record.
No, I have no idea.
I love it. Like I said, No Means No meets 70s King Crimson.
That's cool.
Love me some King Crimson.
Good stuff. I'm not going to go there. It's a great record. It's a great record. There's a couple of negatives I have about it. I'm not going to say them though, but it's really good. It's really good.
Our 4th LP, you said?
It's their 4th LP, but apparently, like, I've read a couple of reviews. They said this is a little bit mellower than their other LPs, so I'd like to check those out too. But yeah, good stuff.
Cool.
There you go. Cool. Kaleidobolt. This one.
I'm going to have to Jim Martin that guy.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's my 4th pick.
Awesome.
Kaleidobolt. Finland.
After my turn, I'm going to add it to my Bandcamp want list.
There you go.
All right. This is another one I think I've seen on People Bend the Years Ones a bunch. New Savageheads record, Boston band. Service to Your Country. Sounds a shit ton like the Partisans, but modern production.
Wow.
Vocals are kind of different. Has that really herky-jerky but fast, like 3-chord riffing style. And that really energetic but simplistic kind of drumming. All that kind of style. I mean, they make no bones about the fact that they really like the Partisans a lot. That's pretty much what you're getting. They did like a demo and a 7-inch years ago. And I think a lot of stuff got kind of waylaid by the pandemic, like a lot of things. I've been waiting on this for a while, put out by Social Napalm. Just awesome. It's quick, obviously, like a record like this should be, you know. Yeah, catchy street punk, I guess, you know. UK 82 or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah, it was delayed forever too.
Yeah, they had problems with the labels and all that stuff. I'm glad it finally saw the light of day. It's great.
I've already Jim Martined that one. Still haven't seen it over here, but yeah. Looking forward to it. Oh, Red Menace says, on my 21st birthday, I saw Nate play a show with Monster X on my 30th birthday. I saw him with John Brown's Army. Now on my 50th birthday, I'm watching Nate and Brian on this show. There you go.
Cheers.
Oh, happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday, straight edge guy. Cheers.
There you go.
BD's a good guy.
That's awesome.
Yep, but that's Savageheads.
Hey, BD is an encyclopedia of New York hardcore minutia. Like, just BD. Incredible details on stuff that, like, some of it is like barely on demo tape, and he just like knows who played on it. It's
the band members don't even know the information that you know.
Yeah. I was in that band. Is that right?
Like this one In Your Face set at the Pyramid, the drummer says this in between songs, like that kind of thing.
There you go. That is exactly
what kind of guy.
Thanks, BD. That's a nice comment.
Thanks, Brad.
We should have him on the show. Come on next week. You're welcome. He's like, oh, okay. What's everyone drinking? Jenny Marie asks. Brian?
Yeah, Bullet Rye, 95 proof rye.
There you go.
I'm a mellow old man with some Guinness.
Guinness, there you go.
Yeah.
Pat?
I'm also a mellow old man that's been watching my carbs, so I'm drinking this light lager stuff.
There you go.
It's only 2.6 carbs, you know, but I've had 5 gallons of it, so, you know. I don't know what good that's going to do.
Yeah, I've got some. I'm in Japan, so I'm drinking some Suntory wheat beer. There you go.
Looks like it's got milk in it or something.
It's not the best looking can in the world.
Milkshake.
Yeah. Nate?
Yeah, I'm a whiskey guy. I never got into beer. I just, I love whiskey.
I think it's Brian's turn, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. It is Brian's turn. I'm sorry. Yes, Brian's
turn.
No,
it is. And of course, it is. No, not that one.
Almost made my list.
This is another twofer, kind of like the crispy newspaper there. Under Attack, this is their full length, but I think I actually like the songs on this one better. They're split with Venomous Concepts.
Ooh.
A little more blasty beat, kind of crazy fucking shit. Good friend of ours there, fucking Telfian, between me and Nate there. Good friends with Telfian for a long time.
Yep.
Good to see him back playing music again. Seems like he dropped out for a minute there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's him with Dave Whitty, who you've talked to before, Mike. I mean, all of us know him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
One of the best drummers of our generation, whatever the fuck that means. Just incredible drummer. Super down to earth guy, great guy. Jason from Suppression.
One of the greatest bass players around too, man. That guy can
dude.
Fingers.
We played like with them in Philly and like a few other shows. Like his bass sounds as good as anybody's bass has ever sounded to me. Like just incredible. Like he's like, you know how Eddie Van Halen worked on his tone forever. He sounds like he worked on his bass tone to that extreme. It was so good. His playing is so good. Super cool guys. And, you know, this is just a really good EP. You know, Venomous Concepts. It's who is it? Shane and
Shane? Yeah.
And Kevin from Brutal Truth, my old buddy there. I don't know who else is on there. Is it like one other guy from Napalm Death, like John or something?
I think so. Maybe yes.
Just the lineup.
Guitar player, maybe. Is that?
Yeah.
But
I'm not even entirely sure who plays on it, but you know, cool band who does stuff every once in a while. It's definitely a side project.
I mean, you can tell they want to do. You can tell they want to do their Poison idea. You know, you know.
Venomous Concept.
Venomous Concept, yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's a Poison idea reference, but yeah, I mean, I think it's more than that too. I mean, it definitely doesn't really sound like Poison idea to me, but it's ferocious hardcore, which is good to hear from, you know, guys like that who could just be playing, you know, the festival circuit, you know, not really paying attention to their hardcore roots or whatever. So that side's really cool. And Under Attack, like I said, unfortunately they broke up, but it was really great to have, you know, those three old friends of ours in a band doing stuff, you know, in this year. And then this new vocalist who was so raw. His vocals were just perfect. Really good, like hardcore, raw hardcore vocals. And hopefully those guys will get back together with like another singer or something and do something else. I guess the singer quit and Dave didn't want to continue on the band. So hopefully they'll do something else. I mean, why the fuck not, man? What else are we going to do before we die, right?
Right. How many splits? They did a split with Seeing Red too, right, Brian?
God, they did a lot of records. I don't have all of them.
Let's move on to me because I do have I had them on I have another split that they did this year. This is with Male Patterns from Albany, New York, where I'm from.
Right, yeah.
Dan Barker put out the record. He does this label called Shock to the System Records. And Jason artwork, actually. That is fucking awesome, isn't it? That's Jason Suppression's artwork. That is.
Oh, okay.
That's nice.
But anyway, this is a really good split. I know the Male Pattern side is 3 songs, but I'm trying to remember if the Under Attack side is 3 songs too. And again, it's a great split. Under Attack is everything that Brian was talking about, like ferocious, angry, fast. And again, like sort of a 90s. There's a 90s feel to it. Wouldn't you agree, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
There's guys. It's guys that were playing, you know, hardcore in the 90s, and you know,
the good side of 90s hardcore. Yes.
Yeah. You know, so and then Male Patterns is awesome. They sound, to me, the vocals are very, have like a. It's hard to explain. Sort of like Jim from Devoid of Faith with a little bit of choke from Boston. But yeah, man. Sorry to cut you off, Brian, but it was like a perfect, you know.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, and you know what you didn't mention, the labels that those records came out. One of them, the Venomous Concepts, is on MCR, which
yep.
Fucking
It
like
is.
that's,
I had nothing to do with it, but wow,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
right?
it's on To Live a Lie too.
What's that?
It's on To Live a Lie and MCR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
And the other one's on 625, that same titled like thing.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys went like to the top of the pyramid immediately because of their pedigree, right?
Yeah.
Well, I love it. I love everything.
I don't have that one.
You don't have this one?
I don't have that one. No. I'm gonna hit up Telf now.
I got an extra one, buddy. I'll get you.
All right.
Nice. A lot of love for Under Attack. Good.
Yep.
That's nice.
And Male Patterns there. I'm telling you that their side is really good too. It's raging hard, Albany style hardcore. It's good.
Hell yeah.
Those last two choices is going to be a hard one for me to follow up because I'm going in a totally different direction. Does anybody remember like fucking like 2020? We were in the midst of the pandemic. We were on lockdown, and out of nowhere, AC/DC put out a new record. Like,
nope.
I don't remember it either.
Really?
I bought it
on,
at
what have you
Target.
been doing with yourself? Like, power
At
up.
Target, you said?
I bought it at Target. I was shopping with my
I
family.
remember Black Ice,
Everybody
and
remembers that. Everybody remembers that.
It's probably one of the better things they've done in a while, but that's
it's not. Well, what my point is, like, it's not the best AC/DC record, but just during that like dark time, it was so nice to like just have an AC/DC record come out and cheered me up. It was a good time. So just hold that thought. The good times, the happy feeling you get. You know, AC/DC had a new record. Hold that thought.
Rose Tattoo put out a new record.
Who?
A Rose Tattoo? Did they
Rose
put out a new
so my point is, like, this year there was a lot of not AC/DC type records, but a lot of big, shiny, like upbeat, feel good, heavy rock or heavy metal records, and I was listening to a lot of those this year. And before I get to my pick, I'm going to show a few of them to justify my choice. So it's like bands like Limousine Beach. It's like kind of AOR, like heavy rock, a little bit of stoner, but really upbeat, feel good record. And Sumaland's Dream Killer is like total like 80s heavy metal, like feel good record.
Yep.
Great record, but it's not on my list. If it was a top 10, it would be. Sumaland's and Dream Killer. And then Halas is another one, which is more proggy.
Looks cool.
Nate, you might like this one.
Cover. Yeah.
This is a Swedish band, really good band, but it's a big record, shiny, bit proggy. Halas, Isle of Wisdom was another one of those similar kind of records. And then Spell, Tragic Magic is in that same ballpark. Really melodic, huge, big record, upbeat. Sonia, Loud Arriver, which has an ex-member of Absu in it, right? But this is again really big, shiny, upbeat, feel good, heavy rock, heavy metal record. But ultimately, I didn't play any of those records as much as my final pick of the day, and I played this one to death, and I love it. And I'm probably going to get some abuse for this, but I'm doing it. Ghost.
Ah.
Impera.
Hey, man.
To each their own.
I'm telling you, it's like every song is a hit on this record.
Might be good. I haven't heard it. I did like their records, and then I saw them live, and they were so fucking bad live that I was so bummed out.
Yeah,
it sounded like 90s. It sounded like 90s alternative music to me. Is all it sounded
really?
like.
It was just not good.
I like the first record was on Rise Above, so it's like
I like that one,
right? But then the second record is terrible. The second record's terrible. Right. The other ones after that are kind of okay, but for me, I think they're onto something with this record. It's just like super catchy. I mean, that Bloister Cult tag gets thrown around a lot, wearing the Bloister Cult t-shirt, but honestly, there's not that much difference between like 80s poppy Bloister Cult and what this album sounds like. But huge modern production. But yeah, I mean, keeping to my theme, what records did I play the most? This was definitely one that I played a lot this year. I love it.
It's got to be on with super major label, yeah.
Actually, it's on a label called it's one of those things where like it's a major label, but they have their own imprint.
Right.
Like
Tribute by something.
Oh, actually, it's on Spine Farm as well, which is like also a Finnish label. Spine Farm are involved. Not the old hardcore punk Spine Farm, but another Spine Farm that put out Killing Joke and stuff, actually. But, there you go. A bit of a controversial choice for our demographic,
no,
but
cool.
I want to keep it real. I
love the production on that. The first album, man, is like so Merciful Fate meets Blue
Oyster Cult.
That record's great.
But the second album is terrible. I mean, I jumped off the boat straight away.
And I'm with Brian. I saw him live, and it was just like
really. When was that though? Like around the second album?
I'd say it was 4 years ago, maybe. Maiden, I think. Was it Maiden?
I saw him before that with Blood Ceremony, who were fucking incredible.
Great band.
Was that at the Middle East?
I want to say like maybe 2011, 9. I don't know. I don't know at this point. I have to look at when their tours were. But Blood Ceremony were incredible, and Ghost were just so bad after that. So bad.
Was that at the Middle East, or did you see him down in Providence?
It was the Middle East. Yeah, with, that like barbaric fucking band kind of opened. They were like a Viking metal, weird fucking kind of folk thing. I can't think of their name.
I begins with an A. I just remember. I think I was at the same gig. I thought Ghosts were okay at that. If it's
something, right?
Yeah. What's that?
It was Ancient Something, right? The opening band.
That's what I'm thinking.
I might not have even been there at that point. I have no memory. But Blood Ceremony were good. I thought Ghosts were okay.
Incredible. We hung out with them a little bit, and like one of the guitar player, the bass player was wearing a crossed out shirt. They were like, dude, we love you guys. Like me and a couple of the guys from the Dropdead were there. And then they fucking went on with like their flutes and their little Farfisa organs and shit. They were fucking incredible.
They're a good band. They're a really good band. They've got a new album coming out next year on Rise Above, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
But think about it. Ghosts were just a small band that Lee Dorian signed, you know?
Yeah.
To Rise Above. They've gotten huge. They've been on like Jimmy Kimmel and all that kind of stuff. But, you know. But the main guy, he was in a bunch of like death metal bands and stuff, right? Years ago. Tobias.
Yeah, Repugnant.
There you go.
Yeah.
Repugnant. Yeah.
Was there a connection with Wait or whatever or something, or no? No.
What's that, Nick?
Wasn't there a connection with Waitan or something like that?
Probably.
Sure.
They've had a lot of backing because it was like the main dude, and I know they've had like those Nameless Gould guys. It's been kind of like a revolving lineup from what I've gathered. So there's a strong chance somebody from Watan's been in that. I don't know though. Yeah. I know that the main guy is from Repugnant, who kind of like helped kick off that resurgence of that HM2 Swedish stuff. That band's really good. We're really good because that was like 2003. They were doing that when nobody was. So. Yeah. But yeah, first record's fucking great. I mean, now I'll probably give that a listen, Mike, because I completely written them off.
Don't hate me if you. It's like it was just something that I enjoyed. It maybe it hit me at the right time, and just.
Hey, I mean,
I always expect the unexpected from you, Mike. So you know.
But it's not even like a contrarian choice. It's like I genuinely did listen to this record.
No, I'm not saying you're contrarian at all.
I'm trying to figure out how did that come about from when you were talking about AC/DC and the pandemic of 2020 when we were all hunkered down and shit.
Well, because it gave me a lot of joy because it's such an uplifting, happy record, and I just didn't want to be listening to dark music all the time. So that was one that made me feel good. If music, music can make you feel happy, you can't.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the connection because that AC/DC record like really kind of cheered me up at that time.
Right on.
There you go. Ghost, a little band from Sweden there.
A little band.
nice little recording combo.
Check out your DIY distro for the new Ghost demo.
This might be a big fan favorite. I'm not sure. This is probably my tying with the Syndrome 81 for my most listened to record, probably this Nightfeeder record, Jay Styles.
Oh yeah.
Cut all of your face off, which it sounds like a modern like meme kind of term, like but I mean, the record fucking rules. I think it's just really well written. He captures like that that really like well done sort of like modern hardcore, fast hardcore kind of thing, like Swedish influence kind of stuff. But there's enough crust. Yes.
No, is there I haven't heard it yet. Is there a disrupt sound to it or no?
Yeah. I mean,
it's I think it's a little more Swedish than Disrupt, but it is fucking incredible.
Yeah, like if you like Disrupt, you'll like this, but it's not like him trying to revive Disrupt or anything like that. And each song has its own identity. Like I'm trying to remember, I'm terrible with song titles, but I'm a Letdown is like a straight up like street punk rager. It's not really barely even crust at all. And you know, the guy knows his Scandinavian hardcore. That's a big influence, but it's got a gloomy thing. Gets almost kind of like Stadium Crust here and there, but just edges away from it. Like just big and good sounding enough, but doesn't go into the full on like tragedy thing. Yeah, it's just really fucking, I like the 7-inch in the demo preceding it, but this was a massive step up. Like it's just really fucking good.
And they just toured, they just toured, right?
What's that?
They just toured, right? They just did like a tour or something, right?
I believe so, yeah. I don't think they came in. Yeah.
We were supposed to play with them in Montreal and they canceled because one of them hurt their hand at work, like in a factory or something.
Ooh.
I was super bummed. I wanted to see them. And I haven't seen Jay in years because, you know, the pandemic and then, you know, he lives in Seattle and whatever. And that, yeah, like that record is great. And they have another 12-inch too, don't they?
I think this just got re-released. If they do, I'd love to hear it. I'm not sure.
I think they have another 12-inch, but I know I heard some stuff by them, and I was like, this is as good as pretty much anything he's done since Disrupt. Like, for real. I mean, which is like 30 years later almost.
Yeah, I was going to say, what has he done since? What has he been doing since Disrupt?
State of Fear.
State of Fear. Chicken Chest and the Bird Boys when he was back in Boston for a while. And that band was really cool. It was more straight up.
Well, they were around when Disrupt were around too. But
really?
And Consume was another band he was in. What was the band right before Nightfeeder?
That I don't know. I know Consume. They had a split with Born Dead. That's the last thing I know of. But
they had like another band after that, and they were really good too. We played with them in Citizen's Arrest in Oakland or something like that, and they were fucking great. Like Jay still had it, you know. I got to give it to that guy. He's been in a bunch of bands, and he's usually the main songwriter, and he can still write a song.
Big time.
And pick the guys to play him too, you know?
Patrick, what label is that on?
So the label this came out on, and it sold out really quickly, is Death Raid, but I think it got repressed on a different one, but I'm not sure.
Death Raid was the name of the band before it was Nightfeeder. So I don't know if it's I haven't even looked at the members, but Death Raid were fucking great.
Cool. I'll have to check that out.
That's the same as La Fraction album. Like, just didn't make it to Japan, I don't think. I've not seen it. I've listened to it though. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good. And the 7-inch preceding it was decent. The tape was really good too, but this was like echelons above, in my opinion.
I don't disagree. I think the two things before it are also good. Not as good. I agree, but I think they were both like fully formed.
Oh, for sure.
Like ideas, like really, like they were a real band. They weren't just like finding their way or whatever. Mm-mm. They were just, they were already there, but you know, just the production of a 12-inch, I guess. Yep. And honing in on like what they wanted to, deliver or whatever. But yeah, real good band. Good choice, Pat.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes,
appreciate it.
That's cool.
Is it better than Ghosts?
For me, it is, but everybody.
That is on my list. I just could not find a copy here. I couldn't find one.
Brian's got like a really long relationship with the Disrupt guys. When I first, the first time I ever saw Dropdead had to be 91.
Mm.
Yeah,
and it was in Albany. Like a big fest, 10 bands, and it was Disrupt, Dropdead, and Taste of Fear were like the standouts to me, and and it was my first time seeing all those bands, and they fucking blew my mind, every single one of those three bands. So
yeah, most of that. Well, the good part of the fest, anyways, are, you know, the Dropdead, the Taste of Fear, the Disrupt. All that stuff is online on like YouTube. There's multiple uploads of that.
Yep.
That was a
I've watched
great show. Factory played, postnatal abortion, Devin Cahill, early career Devin Cahill. Did Intent play? Intent played too, right?
Intent played, yep.
Yeah, it was like, that was an all-day show. That was really great. We were, you know, still young.
Turned us into lifelong friends.
It totally did. No denying that. Yeah.
I saw Dropdead and Devoid of Faith in Schenectady, New York, my senior year of high school with demo era Fit for Abuse.
Yeah, I remember that.
Legion Hall was there.
Yeah,
Rotten Fruit of Terrorism from Buffalo played, but it was a big show. It was like 8 bands or something like that. That was awesome. That was after growing up with like Chokehold and Earth Crisis every weekend coming down from Syracuse. It was, I mean, I liked that stuff too, but it was a breath of fresh air for sure.
That might have been a Masonic Temple or the VFW in Schenectady. I forget which one.
Yeah.
But that was a cool spot.
I don't remember this.
Dropdead played Albany like every weekend.
a little bit of an exaggeration, but we definitely played Albany a lot because of you guys, because of Devoid of Faith. You were like, after Disrupt broke up, you know, in 93 and like 94, 95, 96, we played with Devoid of Faith like all the time. We took you on tour with Suffer.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was great. That was like real great times, you know, Suffer being the Health Hazard continuation band without Manny.
Yep.
Great band. As much as people rag on 90s hardcore, there was some really great bands then.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Totally. Yeah. You're up, Brian.
My turn?
Yeah.
I'm on.
I think it's your turn.
Good luck after that one.
I'm not trying to top anything after
that one got a lot of conversation going.
It did.
Dude, when you bring up
before we start, who keeps doing that? Like, is that you, Pat?
Do
it again. Do it again.
It's a stupid app I've got for my camera. Like,
do it again.
Awesome. Like,
I've been seeing those. There was like a lot of wows. Like it was an old Batman episode from the 60s.
That one.
Yeah.
It's really dumb. Yeah, it's a thing for my camera. Like, I just do it to be annoying.
It reminds me so much of like the 60s Batman when Adam West was on it.
I actually thought like I hallucinated the first one because I've got a bit of a hangover.
There's an active flashback, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm going to finish this little sip of whiskey and pour another one before I go into this one.
Pat, have you know, sometimes you have to prepare with the whiskey.
Oh, wait.
That's number 4, which I haven't been drinking. We haven't been playing many gigs, so I haven't had a chance to booze it up like I do on the road. But this one, definitely no one has ever mentioned this on your show before. 100-story building drowning in cum. And I also have the limited hand-drawn cover by the singer Food Fortunata from Sockeye and Breathalyzer and numerous other bands. So I had to bring a Sockeye related record in here in my top 5 of the year because Matt, who is also in Sockeye, made good friends with him from going to the Devo conventions in Cleveland, and he always sends me like CDs of their stuff. They don't come out on vinyl a lot, but he sends me CDs. I listen to them when I'm driving around in the car when, you know, I just don't want to listen to NPR anymore. And yeah, Sockeye is a band you either are completely obsessed with or like completely don't get. There's kind of no middle ground at all with this band. This is half of the classic Sockeye lineup with 2 other guys, not guys that are completely unknown. The bass player played in like Party Plates with Paul from the Inmates. The drummer has been in like a million bands. Boulder, I think he actually played in Midnight for a minute or whatever, but he's been in like a million bands. But this is more like what they term as retard rock. I'm not saying retard, but it's completely ridiculous punk rock with ridiculous lyrics about, bodily functions, dicks, just complete fucking nonsense, basically. And I grabbed this copy of the hand-drawn cover because each one are unique. There was probably like less than 10 with this hand-drawn cover as a pre-release that they happen to have at the Devo convention devotional this year, and I grabbed it. And if you look, there's of course a dick on it, a dripping dick, and on the front also a dripping dick. Ridiculous nonsense. It has like a cousin of the guys in Devo plays trombone on one song or something, or maybe two songs. It's a completely nonsensical, stupid record, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it. And every year I'm just playing stuff that Matt has played on that is ridiculous. Breathalyzer have like a 34-minute prog song that's just about aliens coming down, but they're bacterium, and humanity is worms and slime, and it's just incredible misanthropic outsider music.
Pat has just messaged me to say he needs to go to the toilet.
Who did?
That's appropriate right now.
Use a bottle, dude. That's what you do. You use a bottle.
I was actually going to bring
Like
one
Jim
from the
Martin.
hospital I work at.
Have a Gatorade bottle ready for when you're going to do a live
man.
stream.
Have a bottle.
Off you go. Off you go.
You and Wedge
Like,
probably.
we don't need
Wedge
him.
probably loves that record
We don't need
too,
him.
right?
Who does?
Okay.
Wedge. Gotta be
Wedge?
a lover.
I don't know if Wedge has it, but he's a Sockeye fanatic. Sean Philly, who drew the cover of that Under Attack thing, he's another Sockeye fanatic. There's a lot of Sockeye fanatic, like Dan Lactose from Spaz. He's a Sockeye fanatic. So it's either people are like completely obsessed with them or they just do not get it. It's one of those things.
I don't
Are they
care.
like the ghetto gay of? Is it similar kind of thing?
No, not really. No. And I love both, but no, they're not similar. The vocals, the lyrical content of Sockeye, and every band that Dave Food Fortunata is in, it's just incredible. The guy's a genius, lyrical genius at doing nonsense. He's like kind of like the Captain Beefheart of the underground punk scene or something. If that makes any sense whatsoever. He's written so many songs that they make no sense, but within the realm of what they're talking about, they make complete sense. They're just beautiful, long form stories that just, I don't know. If you get it, you get it. It's one of those things.
Nate,
Have some water between my whiskey here. You know what I'm saying?
Are you a fan,
you
Nate?
know what? I do have. So this last one, right?
Maybe let's wait till Patrick gets back.
This is the last one. Wait till Pat gets back to.
Okay.
He's been away for a while. I don't know if this is a number one or number two. Who knows, right?
It's a bit of both.
So
There he is.
That was a long one. You're right.
Anyway,
I've already talked about this one on the show, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I just had to put it out there because this is one of my favorite records of the year. I'm not going to talk about it.
Hey, Nate.
What is it?
On your recommendation,
It's great. And you liked it too, right?
Yeah. Gotta like the chugga-chuggers, though. Gotta like
chugga for you, Brian. But, man, it's, and then I just had to give a shout out to Cooch for getting this Outpatients reissue done. It's all like 83. There's like 16 songs from 83 that are just it's unbelievable. Western Mass hardcore. This thing too, this is something I spun a lot this year. But the one I did want to talk about, man, was, and I hate this format, man.
Playing it on a chain.
This format,
I
7 inch.
I hate 7 inches, man. I'm sorry. I've always loved them, but in this day and age, I just don't have the patience to go over this turntable and change it, every 10 seconds. But this record's awesome. It features Ryan Stern, who is one of the fucking greats in guitar for hardcore for the 90s up through now. He was in Look Back and Laugh. He was in Talk Is Poison, Dead and Gone. This band is Mutilated Tongue with Dave from Tear It Up on vocals. And they just got signed to Revelation, so kudos to them. And
what?
Yeah, they're gonna do an
Oh my God, Brian didn't even mention that, and I talked to him recently.
He's a modest guy, but don't skip
Brian
on this.
Is the best.
Yeah, he really is the best, and he's a
Pariiah.
He's a great writer. He's been doing it forever. Support these guys. This is good shit. It's West Coast hardcore with Dave singing, but it has more of an East Coast feel to it. So it is going to have a little bit more of a East Coast hardcore feel to it. But it's a great record, and this one is on 625 Blind Rage. So if you can still get it. And then, like I said, they signed with Rev, which is pretty amazing. I think it's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because, I've known Brian for a long time. He toured with Look Back and Laugh in 2004.
Yep.
Obviously with Tobiah on vocals. Toby, as we like to call her. Yeah, those guys, we stayed at their house like a ton of times. They do our T-shirts for the West Coast for Dropdead too.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy's great, and he's just like a lifer who, like Jay Styles, has been doing it forever, can still write the songs.
Yep.
Play and write the songs.
California Love, that's another band he did.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, with Nick, what's his name? I can't think of his last name, but yeah, that guy was super good.
Yep.
A lot of great bros, like you too, Nate. You're my brother for life because of everything you've done. Let's just give a shout out to, can I get it in there?
Oh, a Fright face.
Right. Fright Plectrum. We played some shows with Fright, my metal band, Wolf Hex. Played a few shows with Fright recently, and that was a good time.
Nate was just recommending me Wolf Hex yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. It's a fun band to play in. I mean, Dropdead is obviously my, thing to do, but it was a band after our other band, Wolf Hex, where we had to get rid of one member, and they're still continuing with 4 new members, and we continued with 0 new members. It was just the 4 guys instead of the 5. And, lifelong friends, Aaron Ulcer from the band Ulcer, from the band Pain Driver, from the band Straight to Hell. More lifers who, I love these guys that, I play in bands with, been playing with them for decades. Nate, who I've known forever, through his many bands, his metal turn, which I didn't see coming. And Fright are great. I love you guys. Derek and Shay.
And for the Fright record too.
All great guys.
Thank you, buddy.
If I could find a Fright CD around here, I would hold it up as one of my top 5, but I actually couldn't find it. I think it's in my car. But I don't feel like going outside because it's a little bit cold.
That's 2021 anyway, buddy.
Is it? Oh, okay. I think I have a Japanese CD which came out in 2022. But there you go.
I got to get you one, Mike. Somehow we got to work out a way to get you some shit.
We'll figure it out with the Sugi artwork.
Yeah,
very cool.
Some great
Sugi,
artwork,
yeah.
Nate, are you still doing Pariiah too?
I'm doing Pariiah too. Yeah, still doing that. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that was the last one.
That was it. But does anyone have any other
I wanted to mention just because
all of us. That's 20. That's 21, isn't it?
Is it this reissue? Oh well. Glad it got reissued. Syracuse, New York.
Syracuse.
I mean, the Gauze was July 21, but it didn't come out on vinyl until 2022.
That's right. Yeah.
So, oh yeah, Hunted Down.
I'm
just seeing that now. I'm looking at the YouTube channel at the same time with I have the 7-inch of that. I don't have that LP yet. I have to get that because that 7-inch is incredible.
It's great, and the demo stuff on it's really good.
12-inch,
that's why I need it because of the demo.
How cheap it was. I think it was like under $20, wasn't it?
The LP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out
I
on
think
record.
it's 10-inch. I mean, sorry, the 7-inch for $10. Like, because nobody cared about that stuff for the longest time. Like that and the Mech Mensch thing were kind of, to me, on the same level. Back in the day before 80s hardcore, where everything was $80 fucking or $100 or whatever. But like, yeah, whatever. Here's my last one. This is for Jenny. Right. This is my biggest score of the year, which I actually got in a raffle at Devotional again, 2022. It is a copy of Mark Mothersbaugh's first solo cassette, Japan only, signed by the man, because he actually showed up for the first time to the 20th or 21st anniversary of Devotional. He showed up. He got super fucking drunk. They had to carry him out of there because he was so drunk. He loved it. He was like, it was incredible. Mark Mothersbaugh is like a multimillionaire now. Does like soundtracks for everything.
Rugrats.
Key member of Dio.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Devo and Dio put together. Yeah. So this is my biggest score of the year right here. So I figured I should mention it, and also I should mention one more. The biggest hit of the year.
Yes.
Listen, my daughter
on this album.
My daughter loves that shit, and she's 11, man. All because of Stranger Things.
Dude, I know at least two of us here love Kate Bush. Kate Bush is an incredible artist, undeniable.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that all these people are like discovering her, like.
Well, what's funny is that the music that song that is making her have a comeback is actually, I mean, it's not that different than a lot of, I mean, like I said, my daughter is
pop nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. I was listening to some Jarbo the other day and I was like, this almost sounds like modern pop because of the way it's like ethereal electronic kind of weirdness with like vocals over it that are kind of like gothy, but like ethereal. I think covers it. I think.
Yeah,
it'd be wild if Zoomers got really into like 4AD, like and shit like that, you know?
Right, Cocteau Twins and whatnot.
Like what Kate Bush song was in? Was it Running Up That Hill? Right.
Yeah, Running Up That Hill. Yes.
Okay.
Huge hit for her. She must have made a shit ton of money in the last year.
She's great, man. She never plays live. She doesn't do interviews. No. She does everything her own way, 100%. She's amazing.
She had full rights, I guess, for all the royalties for that. So she made bank, and like
that's awesome.
You know, like good for her. You know, like that's awesome.
Yeah. No doubt. She probably.
I'm sure she never had to work again.
Yeah.
But having a number one in the U.S., where she never had a number one in the U.S.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll throw this out there real quick. Like, I'm going to talk about my favorite metal records on the next stream I'm jumping on in a bit. But if you want to check out a new thrash metal record, this Sadistic Ritual, Enigma Boundless, is really, really good. I'll just throw that out there. It's like
that cover is terrible.
Yeah, it is. But that's the logo. Yeah.
Let me see the back. Can I see the back cover, buddy?
Yeah, it's also weird macrame, God's eye. I don't know. But
what label is that on?
It's a little Hawkwindy.
Yeah, it is.
It's on prosthetic.
course. Okay.
Yeah, they're from Atlanta. It's really extreme, like leaning more towards like Demolition Hammer, like kinda, sorta, like that level of thrash. Not really sounding like that, but that extreme. It's not quite death metal yet, you know. There's some blasting on it, but it's really good. That's my official metal pick for the.
I would have figured somebody would have. This was 20. Right? Everybody got this.
That's the
right?
Discord box set, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to get it. I didn't. I'm familiar with everything on it. I should have bought it.
Brian's just dropped.
I mean, it's amazing how cheap it was, and they threw in an extra, which a lot of people don't need or want. But
I'd like to hear that though, because I was just like, oh, I have the year in 7 inches, blah blah blah, and
it's just beautiful. It really is beautifully done. I mean, it's just fucking an amazing packaging job, and the box Brian just showed that it came in and everything. It's just amazing.
$50.
$50, amazing.
I should get it.
Yeah.
Especially because I just watched that Salad Days documentary again.
Doesn't everybody have all the originals? That's all.
I knew he was going to say that.
I have
What am I missing?
I have my year in 7 inches CD that I bought in the mid '90s.
Yeah, no, the only one I'm missing is this.
Just
I'm only missing a 7 inch. But it's pretty cool.
For
We've
sure.
got to mention that Dropdead are going on tour with Napalm Death in Europe.
That is true.
And the Squella Grind.
And Siberian Meat Grinder, who I can talk to them about crispy newspaper maybe, but I doubt it. But who knows?
Dude, that band has my favorite music videos. Those videos are like Biohazard videos on acid with dudes wearing like weird, like bear masks, but like rapping into the camera with like shredding soul.
Crazy fan. I talked about it a few weeks ago.
I love that
Yeah,
band.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing them every night for like 28 nights in a row, whatever the fuck the tour is. I don't even know. But yeah, I never heard them before, but they sound like Municipal Waste, but like more intense.
Yeah.
Like they have a little bit of a gimmick going on, which is fine, whatever. I care about the music, and they are fucking ferocious. They're like kind of like Foreseen a little bit in that bridging that like hardcore thrash crossover kind of thing or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I hope this tour is just like all good bros hanging out kind of fucking shit.
I'm just, you know what I'm really stoked on? The fact that you, after doing this for so long, are going on a bus.
Yeah, right.
Seriously,
finally a fucking bus, right?
Seriously, that's fucking. That's
and you know what?
33 years.
Barney is like just one of the. They're all great guys, great people. Like, you'll have a great time. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's a big one. That's awesome. Can't wait to hear about it. You okay?
Yeah. I don't know what to say. This is my fourth whiskey, so after not drinking, one of the last times I drank was we played with Despise You in New York, and I drank like 3/4 of a bottle of fucking whiskey, and I was fucking out of it. So, like, after drinking 4 drinks after like 3 years, I'm like pretty wrecked at this point. So,
not as wrecked as Paul. That was great.
Thumbs up. And also this, the Slade, right?
Yes, Slade. All right, shall we wrap it up there? We'll probably keep chatting for a little bit after I turn off the camera. But everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, everybody.
Nate, Brian,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone.
I got it figured out at the last second, right?
I was so happy you made it, Brian. We all like, oh,
yeah, for sure.
Seriously. Would have been a bummer if you weren't on.
It would have been. Wouldn't have been the same. So, on that bombshell, Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.